Here we are, filming some Chatcasts. This is to continue the adversity talk that we've been doing. So where we're at now is we talked about identifying negative adversity, identifying positive adversity. Now we want to talk about how to deal with negative adversity and how to deal with positive adversity. Now this is going to be some carryover.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like we broke it up into 4 parts, but we've kind of been dipping into each one as we go just because you have to.
Pretty much. And I think that some of this stuff is going to be things that we've already said in the other videos, but at the same time, I think some more details will come out of this too. I'm pretty tired. You've been busy this week at work. I've been busy, but you have 2 jobs. I'm just a dad, part-time also.
I'm just a dad.
I'm beat up today. I'm tired, man. I've been working in the yard, setting up stuff, getting ready to expand our growing. Probably gonna vlog about that. That Rockstar coming back.
Oh yeah.
The sequel. So anyways, so we're gonna talk about dealing with negative adversity and bear with our old tired brains is what I was trying to say here. It's gonna take me a minute to get the gears flowing on this. The way I have the lighting setup's making extra shadows. I don't know if I'll do this ever again.
Ever again. It's done. This is a special edition.
This is it, once and only, for these next 2 videos. So since this was kind of your brainchild, I want you to start with this. We're gonna start with the dealing with portion to be about dealing with negative adversity. How do you go about that? After you've identified that this situation is negative adversity, how are you going about handling this in your life?
I mean, there's a lot of different ways, so without getting lost too far into the sauce, I would just say, wrapping back around to what negative adversity would be.
Circling back?
Yeah, circling back to what negative adversity is that idea that sometimes in pursuit of your goals, things crop up that I wouldn't say stop you, but offer resistance to accomplishing your goals. And sometimes those things are like what we identified as positive adversity, things that you just have to push through, and it's going to make you grow in certain ways, challenge you in certain ways, but it's something that you have to travel through in order to achieve your goal.
Gotcha.
Negative adversity is one of those things that it's ideal to get it out of your way because it's not benefiting you anyway. Negative adversity would be people that are just being like trying to drag you down for no good reason. They're leeching your energy, or they're actively like actually destroying what you're doing or compromising it in some way. I'm trying to be semi-vague but specific because of the fact that I want this there's all kinds of different ways that this can happen to you. But to me, negative adversity, one of the biggest ways that I deal with it is just getting it out of my way. So if it's a person, maybe cutting them off is necessary. Maybe just simply getting them out of the way for the time being, or finding a way to do that. If it's something that's like negative about yourself, coming from within yourself, that's something you got to deal with because you gotta be like, okay, like, you know, this body dysmorphia, imposter syndrome, all these kind of things that can crop up that are things that are in your head, that are made up scenarios that are keeping you from your goals that are negative. You just got to get them out of the way. Which maybe that could be positive or I don't know. Like it's sticky because you got to push through those things, but you know what I'm saying?
I do. I'm following you. I'm just, you know.
Yeah.
I'm processing it, digesting it slowly. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to that? Was there more to that thought, or are you pretty much at your?
I mean, that was pretty much it. But I still, at this point in my life, maybe I'll change my tune on this, but I still feel like there should be value in realizing like the skill of ignoring things. You know what I mean? The skill of like, if someone's like chirping in your ear, being able to tune them out. And a lot of people, I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm gonna clap back, all that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, but not all the time is that beneficial. And a lot of people would say like ignoring them just makes them feel more empowered, or ignoring them makes you look like a coward. Who cares? That's not about, I'm not trying to accomplish my goals so I look like a hero. I'm trying to accomplish my goals because I want to accomplish my goal. So if I ignore them and I look like a coward, but I still accomplish my goal, that doesn't bother me personally.
I'm not trying to look like a hero. I'm trying to be a hero.
Oh, that does sound hard though.
It does though. I'm like that. I'm like that. I want to hear it though. That video,
Yes.
That was so good. Okay, I'm totally vibing on that. That's not what I expected you to say.
Ooh.
But it was not necessarily bad.
Not necessarily, but it was a little bit.
I didn't mean to word it like that, brother. So I'm gonna hit this from the classic John thing,
Okay.
which is totally practical. Just straight up, totally practical.
Straight up.
When you identify the negative adversity, you have to rip it off like a Band-Aid, and it's probably best to start the process of removing it. I definitely think that a person ends up being this more than anything else. Sometimes it is you, and sometimes you are that thing that's creating the negative adversity. Now, that you accurately pointed out that you're towing a fine line between, especially when you're dealing with yourself, positive and negative adversity. But when you're dealing with, you mentioned imposter syndrome. Or,
I just threw out a couple of the more popular ones.
yeah, or body dysmorphia, or, unchecked depression and certain things like this, or just, that your project is going to take a certain kind of financial support, and you keep undermining yourself by buying new shoes. Like, okay, that's stuff that you can fix in negative adversity. You have to take inventory of your life and how you're going about, and being like, hey, I can be more responsible in this regard to get out of my own way. And then sometimes it's a person where you're like, this person draws out the literal worst in me, and I've got to stop it. Or this job draws out the literal worst in me. I have to find something else to do. I saw a person I've known for a while. I wouldn't necessarily say a friend, but I've just known their family for a long time.
Yeah.
On social media, mentioned that weight had been a thing that they struggled with. So to be proactive about it, they got rid of their remote-only job and are going to be an Amazon delivery driver. And I thought that was very admirable.
That's interesting, yeah.
Wanting to change it because their remote work job was enabling them to continue not to just be stagnant with their physical self. And they knew that was a negative adversity they had to deal with. It was that negative push against them, and and they took a bold step to change that. And I think a lot of times, to kind of jump back when we're talking about people on this, because as I'm unpacking this and saying this out loud, negative adversity fits another person a lot more, because I know that's where a lot of people are going to immediately click with that.
Yeah, it's kind of external more than it's internal.
Right. And it just stinks.
Yeah.
When you have to alter a relationship, and maybe in the worst possible way by saying bye, maybe forever, or at least creating boundaries, And it's hard. You need to do it as soon as possible. There's never a good time. It's never easy. It's never going to be executed with exact precision. It's going to be jagged a little bit. I mean, of course you could do it well, better, maybe, if you plan it in a certain way and you kind of do put a time frame on it, let's say, or something like that. But for the most part, man, once you identify this thing, you got to just go for it. And I think the big takeaway here with everything that we said in the most practical way could be is that once you identify this, start making steps toward rectifying the situation immediately, because you will get there's a term for it where you get the ball rolling and it starts to gain momentum.
Oh.
Yeah, it's momentum, but I thought there was another term for where it's like you start to receive this positive feedback immediately, and it creates this
like positive feedback chain or something like that.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
There's a phrase like that. You all on the internet are smart. You probably know.
Tell us.
And just simply planning to repair a situation will help give you that vibe and that energy. So, you know, there's some takeaway there for that, and just start that process. You can start right now. You can just start writing it down on a notebook or in your little notes on your phone, and just start, how could I do this? What could I say to them? What do I need to say to set boundaries? You know this person better than anyone else probably. How do I explain to them this and that? And how do I let them down gently? And just start playing that scenario in your head. It's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna be sloppy at first. Refine it and then just work on it. But even planning something is healing and has a very positive benefit. I don't have anything else to say or add to this. We're gonna call this video here at how to deal with negative adversity. And then the next one is gonna be extremely similar, but how to deal with positive adversity. Gonna be a lot of carryover. I still think it's worth giving it its own video. So, until next time, peace.